I'd like to submit for your consideration a proposal to restructure educational systems. My proposal is not based, as usual, on the necessities of some reality, but on the very essence of education. I will present 3 theoretical assumptions on the essence of education and derive from them a practical plan for restructuring educational system. Nothing is as practical as a good theory. What do I mean by the essence of education? The essence of education is the aim of education. The aim of education shapes the means of education, the curriculum, the pattern of teaching, the method of assessment, etc. So, what is the aim of education? If you were to pose this question to ministers or secretaries of education, supervisors, principals, or teachers, you may embarrass them. They are not prepared for this question and might stammer confused answers. Why don't educators of all sorts have a clear and common answer to the most important question in education? People operating in other systems have their answers. For instance, the aim of a health system is to prevent and cure disease. The aim of a defense system is to prevent and, if necessary, win wars. But what is the aim of the educational system? Let's impose some order in the realm of the educational aims. Education, according to Tzvi Lam, the Israeli most influential educational thinker, and other educational thinkers, has not one aim, but 3 super or meta aims. According to the first, the aim of education is to socialize students, to equip them with tools, practical knowledge and skills, habits and behaviors that will help them integrate into society and work. This aim generates education as socialization. According to the second, the aim of education is to acculturate the students, to mold their character in accordance with the truths and values that constitute the preferred culture of their respective communities. This aim generates education as acculturation. According to the third, the aim of education is to enable each student to fulfill him or herself, or in the late Ken Robinson terms, to help each student to find and develop his or her element, the point where talent and passion are merged. This aim generates education as individuation. These 3 educations, education as socialization, education as acculturation, and education as individuation, are engaged in a struggle for the soul of educational theory and practice, a struggle that confuses educators and students alike. Each education claims that it is the true education, the one that really cares for students and their future. In our capitalistic utilitarian society, education as socialization, education that imparts tools to succeed in society and work, is dominant. But there are 2 other educations at play in the educational theory and practice. So, the essence of education is the aim of education. Education has 3 aims which generate 3 different educations. Why 3, no less, no more? Because education, as Tzvi Lam wrote, serves 3 masters. The society, it wants practical tools. The culture, it wants canonical truths and values. And the individual, he or she wants self-fulfillment. Let's move now to the second theoretical assumption about the essence of education, an undermining, even defiant one. The 3 educations are not simply different. They are contradictory. Each education undermines and indeed eviscerates the educational impact of the other 2. Hence, it's virtually impossible, or possible but not advisable, to implement the three educations within one educational institution. Let me explain. Education as socialization delivers a message: what most important is that you make it and manage a successful career. Education as acculturation delivers a message: what most important is that you become a good human being, a refined mensch. And education as individuation delivers a message: what most important is that you live your own authentic life and fulfill your unique talents and passion. These three messages cannot be reconciled or harmonized. And more importantly, each education shapes the means of education differently. For instance, the curriculum. The socializing curriculum consists mainly of practical knowledge and skills, math, language, computer science. The acculturating curriculum consists mainly of humanistic knowledge and skills, history, the arts, philosophy, and theoretical sciences. While the individuating curriculum, well, it does not exist at all. Each student is encouraged to create his or her personal learning agenda. Since the three educations, their aims and means contradict one another, the typical effort to deliver them all in one school is futile. It produces a confusing and self-destructive impact. Students who receive three contradictory explicit and implicit educations become indifferent or cynics. Rational educators, therefore, should make a tragic choice. Choose one education and forego the advantages of the other two. The purpose of choosing one education is not to impose a dogma, but rather to set a general trajectory. So we say, choose one dominant education, not the only one, and stick to it. The primary benefit of making the tragic choice is that you create your educational identity. You are no longer an opportunistic educator who chases after educational trends. Now you know who you are pedagogically and how you should navigate in the educational field. For schools that seek to be effective, this choice is vital and inescapable. Based on this theoretical argument, there are three educational aims. They generate three contradictory educations. Therefore, educators should choose one education. We can offer a practical proposal for restructuring educational systems. Let's divide our middle and high schools into three kinds: socializing schools, acculturating schools, and individuating schools. Elementary schools will impart basic knowledge and skills and prepare students to make an intuitive and reasoned choice regarding their future schooling. The socializing schools will provide tools-oriented education. They will initiate students to knowledge-based professions, medicine, law, computer, etc., and also to less knowledge-based professions like robotics, mechanics, etc. These kind of schools will be tailored to students with instrumental interest. Most students and their parents come to school with a straightforward question: what will I gain from it? It's a fair question. We should respect it. Hence, most of schools will belong to this category. They will be professional schools. The professions of the 21st century knowledge economy demands from its workers sophisticated knowledge, skills, and dispositions. Schools would be happy to produce such graduates. And note, the new socializing schools will not teach the professions as colleges teach their young adult students. They will teach the history, sociology, psychology, and philosophy of medicine or law or computer, etc., and expand and deepen the students' horizons. Learning these and other disciplines in the context of a chosen profession will make them more relevant and motivationally rich. And what's more, students will spend part of the school time at relevant working sites, hospitals, court, high-tech center, etc., initially as observers and later as participants. In the second type of schools, the acculturating ones, the teachers will teach useless or impractical school subjects. The curriculum will include mainly humanistic disciplines and pure sciences, not to serve practical goals, but for developing the mind and humanity. This kind of schools will suit students with intellectual interest, students who enjoy learning for the sake of learning and are attracted to abstract ideas. Here the so-called geeks and nerds of the typical school will flourish. Here also the students will spend time in relevant sites, research institutes, theaters, museums, and the like. In the third type of schools, the individuating one, known as the child-centered schools or the free, open, democratic schools, the students will choose what and how to learn. This kind of schools will suit students with autonomic interest, students with a deep and uncompromised need to direct their learning on their own. In the uniformity of the typical schools, these students are often characterized as undisciplined and troublemakers. These students will also spend time at sites they choose and that support their personal growth. These are the general contours of my proposal. With regards to concern I hear about this approach, let me offer short responses to the three most commonly raised. First, I'm told that kids at the age of 13 are not mature enough to choose their academic and professional track. The response to this claim is that kids are well aware of the areas in which they are stronger or weaker and what interests and excites them. Traditional schools impede and distort the self-regulating instinct. And in case a student had chosen a wrong track, he or she can try another one. Other people say that the students need to acquire tools to internalize values and fulfill themselves. A school that does only one thing damages their development. The response to this claim is that schools are not the exclusive agent for acquiring tools, internalizing values, and conducting self-fulfillment. A variety of agencies, the family, peer groups, the media, and others provide youngsters with the educations a particular school may not fully offer. And the third common claim is theoretically, the school division into three educations is fine, but practically it's unfeasible. My response to this claim is that in reality, this division exists today in all Western countries, but in a distorted and inefficient way. So, instead of allowing blind reality to structure our educational systems, let us restructure them with eyes wide open. Thank you.